Welcome to Real People, Real Life, where everyday conversations lead to extraordinary insights. We're all about digging into the lives of regular people who've achieved success on their own terms. From business and entrepreneurship to fitness, politics, education, and beyond, we cover it all. This is Real People, Real Life. And now your host, Ryan Chereau.
Justin, thank you for showing up. I really appreciate it. I know it's Sunday. I know it's football season. So, here at Real People, Real Life, what we're doing is what we're trying to do is give the audience, people listening, some direction, right? Life is tough, right? And what we're trying to do is show them that success is possible. The American dream is possible. The magic sauce, however, isn't even magic. It's just called determination and hard work. We've had a lot of people out there disenchanted with their college degrees. They're spending all this money, a lot of debt, and we've talked about that on the podcast in the past. And they're getting out in the workforce, Justin, without a means of supporting themselves and their families. And as you know, I'm in the HVAC business. I've been in this trade. This is the only trade I know. I've been in it for 32 years, changing filters and maintenance.
Yeah, I started in 2000, went to a trade school. So I've been in on and off, we'll go through over all that here through this whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go into that. So 2000. So what did you do before 2000?
Well, I was a student in high school.
Okay.
And I did very well. My mom thought I should have went to college.
Yep.
And I just, I couldn't read another book, Ryan.
Mm.
I couldn't do another math problem. I remember when I was in sophomore high school, my math teacher, I asked her, I was like, Miss Winston, Miss Winston, when am I ever going to use this math? She's like, when you become a math teacher. I said, I knew it. It's all, no, I'm just kidding. I just couldn't do it anymore. My dad did very well with his hands. He was a welder. So I was able to use my skills with my hands. And I was working at a carrot factory. I was making $9 an hour. And that wasn't cutting it.
Mm-mm.
That wasn't.
Were you in San Diego?
No, I was in Bakersfield, California.
Okay.
That was my hometown. That's where I grew up. And so a friend of a family came into work one day and said, "Hey, let's talk." And he was like, "Man, I did HVAC, and I went to trade school at this school." And I was like, So I ended up flying to Arizona, checked it out.
Did you go to RS?
UTI.
You went to UTI?
Yeah, UTI. It was a really good school.
How long is that course?
10 months.
It's a 10-month course.
10 months, 6 hours a day, 5 days a week. And it was...
Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
No HVAC experience. You got some welding experience, probably through your dad, maybe?
I had the welding experience, and then when I worked at a carrot factory for a year out of high school.
What's a carrot factory?
Bolthouse Farms.
Okay.
It's one of the largest carrot factories you're drinking it in the stores, you're drinking their product.
What is carrot?
Carrots.
Oh, carrots.
The vegetable.
Ryan, let's start listening.
Yeah, so I help from the process of when they cut it. My job was I took care of the shakers.
Okay.
The vibrating, because when you're dealing with bacteria and stuff, you want to wash it. Conveyor belts don't work, so I was the shaker guy. So I did that for a year. They actually sent me to a training when they knew I was going to go to a trade school already for HVAC, and I just went to trade school in Arizona, and I had one goal in mind, and that was let's do good, and let's get better. And I walked away from that school with perfect attendance. 4.0, but in my eyes, that don't mean shit. Because proof is in the pudding. You got to put in hard work. And I'll be honest with you, I could have been a better technician. I didn't put as much hard work in as now. I finally grew up.
So we get a couple different types of newbies, some greenhorns. We pulled a couple out of. We'll go into you teaching. But we've pulled out of the local trade schools. We've seen both types, right? We've seen a bunch. We've seen guys that come in here and are just shocked at what the reality of HVAC is, or HVAC. The hard work, the brain work required. It's a very intense thinking.
Well, that's what I tell my students, Ryan. I said, you gotta have this, but you gotta have this. I mean, you gotta have both because it's a. I tell students if this trade was easy, we would call plumbers. And I'm nothing against the plumbers. We need you. We love you out there. But I mean, we do some brain work. We do a lot of technical. We got to make it happen right now and make it work.
And especially if you want to reach the apex of the field, right? I mean, what people don't realize about HVAC and refrigeration is it's a pretty vast field. There's a lot a person can do. I mean, you could be
so many avenues.
There's so many avenues that if you are interested in the trade, you're gonna find something that you really love. It's still all going to be really hard work.
Yes.
And as long as people can get past that, and this is the truth on anything in life, right, Justin? Anything that you want to do and succeed in, once the initial excitement is gone, you have to have the willpower to push forward, continue on, deal with the ups and downs. So you get through UTI, obviously, great attendance, 4.0. What was your first job?
Commercial air conditioning. I was working. I got to start with Cal Air. I was actually looking at a couple companies, but Cal Air was my interest. National Air and Energy, Jackson and Blanc. What other one? There was another one out there, and but Cal Air just struck my interest.
Excellent.
And
what was your first job there? What were you doing?
I was just like every green. I was a maintenance. I was a filter. Water source heat pumps, water source heat pump filters, helping replace water source heat pumps. I would have to say that was my highest. I mean, not my highest, but I did very well at water source heat pumps. Mm. I was a guru. I was a guru.
Yeah, they're tricky. That people struggle with heat pumps in general.
Yeah,
a heat pump, for those of you guys out there that don't know, it's basically an air conditioner system that will also work in reverse. To provide heat for a conditioned space. So you can use it in the wintertime, you can use it in the summertime. So we're out in the trades. Now, what's great about the trades, this is a fantastic way for you to earn good money as you go up the ladder.
Well, I mean, I went from $9 an hour to $17 an hour after 1 year. And
this is 24 years ago.
Yes.
So a huge increase in pay, almost a 300% or something. Well, don't hold me on the math, guys, but it's big. I mean, that's life-changing money for a young guy.
In San Diego, it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It is, but that's where you started.
Yeah,
that's where you started. One of the things that I really was interested to talk to you about is that you've leveraged your knowledge, and what that means is. And I'm always interested in people that have leveraged their knowledge. And what I mean by that is you could have stayed in the trades. You probably would be making more money than teaching. And it would have been a one-to-one, right? Whatever input you put out, the output takes care of Justin. And then Justin can then take care of future family and current family.
Yep.
You decided, however, there's a need out there for skilled labor, and you decided, I'm going to start teaching. When did you make that decision?
Well, to be honest with you, I deal with a disability. I deal with a panic disorder. That's like right now I should have taken, those Xanax, and I don't really take them that often. I'm not one of those people that so that's why I was like, but that's what happened is at 29, I got diagnosed with a panic disorder, and it's been a battle.
Mm.
I live it every day, and I just, sorry.
It's all right.
But no, so I went through some tough times, through some struggles, and but we made it through. I worked at a gas station because I didn't know what to do for air conditioning because I couldn't drive a van anymore. I can't drive on the freeways. I have a phobia. It sucks. It hurts.
Yeah, and then
but
And in the trades, Justin, the windshield time is half the job.
It's half the job. It's
and you picked commercial too. You're also in a big town.
You're not going to one facility. You're traveling the world. I mean, not the world, but the whole county. I mean, I've
got to go where the money is, right?
Yeah, you can make that money. I got to wake up at 6 in the morning to be to at 8. You're doing it. And that's a drive. But now I can't do it, and so I do the back roads. And so I was on disability for a year.
Okay.
Trying to figure it out. And then so we did the gas station and telemarketing thing. That was quite interesting.
And they had that tool bag of HVAC in your head.
Just the tongue knowledge, being able to talk to people, and so it helps. But yeah, let's just say I didn't get trained right at the gas station, and I got hit with an undercover sting, and I sold alcohol to an undercover kid, and I just never got trained right. But at the end of the day, now I'm just an idiot. But again, at the end of the day, we're all humans. We make mistakes.
Absolutely, that's what we did.
Oops, I can't believe that happened, but it did, and I lost that place, and then it was like, okay, what do I do now? And I ended up going and training at a storage unit place for $14 an hour. And I'm like, dude, what the hell am I doing? Sat there for a full day doing the training. And then one day I called out sick. And the guy calls me and goes, I don't think this is going to be good for you. I said, I don't think so either. And then I remember my buddy, he went to school at UEI right down the road from us. I'm like, it's close to the house. They got HVAC. Go check it out. And they said $28 an hour. And I'm like, are you kidding me right now? I mean, for what I've been making, I barely made it 1 year. I mean, it was bad. It was tough.
Yeah,
tough year. But I mean, it was just like the 99-cent store was my best friend.
My best friend to this day.
Not anymore. They're gone now.
Yeah, they got bought out.
But yeah, and they said $28 an hour, and I haven't missed a beat since then. And I keep getting better and better at this every day.
You've been out of the HVAC world for how long?
I was in it for, 15, 16, many years. And I loved it. I love the challenge of it. It's just amazing. Just the growth of just different things you learn. And, but yeah, the HVAC thing didn't work out. And a year and a half, 2 years out of the trade, I picked up the trade teaching thing. And, I'm all about learning from other people. And, the whole vapor pump thing, guess what? Guess where I got that one from? Sitting right in front of me, and the bucket time, and being patient. And, that's one thing I wasn't as a technician, is I wanted to go, because I wanted to get home to get one of these.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my biggest problem. And that's one thing that this teaching has saved my life, because I could go to work hungover as a technician.
Right.
But I got 20 people that are paying a lot of money for their futures in my hand.
This is the leveraging your experience. So yeah, it's a big responsibility.
So it's like I can't wake up, and I got to put on a show. I got to be able to entertain these students and make them want to learn and be engaged and get better, so they can fix all the units that are being broken right now with the technicians that we have out in this trade.
We'll get into that also too. So what was day one? So you've been out of the HVAC industry for a year and a half-ish, and you get the job at the school. What was day one like when you woke up that morning?
It was nerve-wracking, but it was exciting. It's like, I'm gonna try something new, but you gotta understand, Ryan, is I used to coach my stepdaughter in softball, and that's where I kind of like, people were like, "You're pretty good at that. Pretty good at coaching, man. You just got no hit and you won the game. How did that happen?" You know what I'm saying? And it's like, those don't come together. So I just kind of was like, let's try it.
That's called communicating fundamentals. You're able to communicate at their level the fundamentals to win.
Yep.
This is the definition of an effective teacher. So you come in there, you're obviously brand new, you're at the quote-unquote bottom of the totem pole of the teaching chain there. And you moved up.
I am the only senior instructor on campus out of all the trades there, all the programs there. Last year, I mean, they don't want to acknowledge it, but I've been in the management part of the company, so I know how to pull numbers and see who's doing what. And I was one of the number one instructors in the country.
Yeah, I had so people. This will be the first time I've talked to on the podcast, but I actually for about 6 months went out, met you, did a little substituting in the night classes there, and it was a great experience. I was just stretched way too thin, but you were a big influence to the instructors that were there. You seem to really have a heart to make sure the program is as best as it can possibly be.
We're right now, let's just say when I started there, we were at 67% completion rate, and we're projected to finish at 87% this year. Right?
Unbelievable. And it's difficult, I'll tell you.
Number one in the country.
Winner.
You know, if you can't be the best, try to at least get there.
Well, you have to, yeah. You don't aim for something, right? You're going to miss every time. Somebody said that. It's a cliche quote out there, but it's critical, right? You got to set goals and you have to go after them. Do you? So it's what I love about teachers. Here's what I love. You've got all this knowledge, but you're able to impart that on 20, 30, 40 students. Now you're in an actual situation now where you're actually imparting that knowledge on other teachers too. So you've actually expanded your influence. How many students on average are you guys seeing per term?
So me, I look at a module each month. So right now I have 22 in my morning class, and I have 19 in my afternoon class.
So 40 plus.
And you have to you're talking to the person that his first class he taught at this school. I had one student. It was a standalone student. They were trying to get him started, and so they here one-on-one. It's like, good luck. And it just let's just say he attendance failed the first time, and he had 100% attendance. He didn't miss one of my classes. Right out the gate.
Well, that speaks to the teacher. If the teacher's not engaging the students, right? It's so boring. I've been in classes where the teacher just doesn't care. Or they may care, however, they don't know how to communicate the fundamentals, like you were doing with your stepdaughter's softball game, right? Wow, how the heck did you come in here and coach this, and all of a sudden they win? Well, because you had an innate ability to communicate at their level what it took to win. Mm-hmm. That's a skill. Walk me through a couple. I want to go through a couple success stories where it took a lot of energy on your part with a particular student without actually naming names. And they were able to get through the program, and how that student changed at graduation.
Oh, man. Shoot. Well, hold on here. Because one of them, I'm going to be honest with you. He just doesn't have the brain. He didn't have the brain, but guess what? He had the drive. He didn't have it in the beginning. They handed him to me, and what they have is called an MTF. And I'm going to say his name, Norbert, because he was a good guy. He was an older gentleman. He was a carny. So he did all the carnival rides and stuff. And so he didn't really have the brain, but he tried his heart off. And they had him at MTF.
What is MTF?
Max time frame. So he cannot fail one more time, and he had 5 more months. And I told him, I was like, look, dude, you show up every day, you do your best in lab, and that's all I can ask for. But with your book work, you're horrible. Because he was an older guy, and that's nothing against the older gentleman. It's just, his upbringing. And every day that he wasn't in the lab, he was in a cubicle by my office, doing his homework, asking me questions, helping him out. Every day that, he wasn't in class, and he made it all the way through. So that one was really, really neat.
What was it like to see him come across the graduation stage and get his
it's a priceless moment for me because you can't put a value on that. You can't put a value on somebody's feelings when it comes to passing that finish line and how much work and determination it took to get there.
One of the things that I noticed, at least in the night courses, we had guys in the classes that I was substituting for who were working full-time jobs during the day. Some of them were retired veterans. Some of them were injured retired veterans. A couple of people had a pretty sordid background.
I've had, like I said, if you wanted 2 stories, I was going to give you another success
Give me as
story.
many stories as you want. People love the
Dennis. Trying to cry with this guy. He did many years in behind bars, and I've never seen a student so driven. A human. His drive was stupid.
Wow.
Just stupid. And he was just so, how do I say it? Not confident in himself because of all the failures. I got you're gonna be okay, man. You're gonna do good. You're smart. Like you're getting this stuff. You got it. And then he starts seeing other guys come in and realize that I do got it. And he finally went to work. He got a job, and started off at like 22, and it's been like probably 6 months. I think he's already at like 26, 27. But he's doing refrigeration.
He's doing refrigeration.
And this guy's working like 60 hours a week. He's like, dude, I don't care, man. I brought home $1,500 in 1 week, man. And there's just the joy that you can hear on his voice and the shit that he had gone through, and to overcome that, it was really like he changed my life. Changed my life to realize that, like, wow, like, and that's why I tell my like people that come, like, why I do this is I'm a big Tupac Shakur fan. And he has a poetry book out called The Rose That Grew from Concrete. And, oh man, I'm sorry. Just these students, it's passion.
Real people, real life. Man, this is why we got you.
I know. But it's seeing the rose that grew from concrete. Seeing the backgrounds that some of the bitches have had.
Sure.
The fucking shit that they have gone through.
So many people discount the background of folks, and then they discount them as a person in the present. You have to overcome that as a teacher, don't you?
Oh, it's every day. There's people with struggles. And I got a couple of them right now that I'm working hard on. Do my best. Try not to get too caught up because there's other people that are paying the same amount of money that deserve my energy.
Well, and that could be difficult, right? The squeaky hinge is getting all the attention, but the other students deserve the attention too. But you made a point a couple of times now, and hard work. The guy just worked harder than the other guys. This guy didn't have the level of intelligence of these other guys for whatever reason. It could have been trauma in his life, could have been drug use, it could have just just a low self-esteem. There's a million reasons.
Yeah.
The idea though is hard work can overcome so much of this. What impresses me about your last story though is that he's doing refrigeration. So anybody out there interested in HVAC and refrigeration, they're two separate beasts. So HVAC is really what you learn, that's your foundation, and there's multiple facets as we discussed before. However, if you really want to be a top end tech, you're going to end up going into refrigeration, which is extremely difficult.
A lot of math, a lot of just different, not used to's in my eyes. Like, that's why I do a little bit of refrigeration. But yeah, you guys are in a whole different world, and also I don't work past a certain time.
Yeah, refrigeration units only break on Friday at 5 p.m.
Yes,
that's just what happens. They'll work all during normal business hours, but once you punch out, they're gonna just go. They're gonna take a shit. That's what they do. They like to do that, and then they'll just stare at you, until 2 o'clock in the morning while you're trying to fix at it and say, You got me? I don't think you got me, man.
If you did air conditioning, you'd be at home right now because the customer wouldn't pay the overtime.
No, and the air conditioner is off.
Turn a fan on. Here, you got $20,000 worth of food. You got to get it fixed now.
Immediately, yeah. And then you're dealing with customers on a whole nother level as well.
No, thank you.
Yeah, it's. I enjoy it. It's a challenge, but you're right. It's amazing to me that a guy through hard work is doing refrigeration successfully, um, because it can be done. It's just what you apply yourself to. You may have to work harder than the other guy, but you're going to be successful. Overall, how would you rate your time in the trades? Let's make some assumptions. Justin's perfectly healthy. He doesn't have any pain issues. It's great. And the reward structure in HVAC and in the repair industry is fixing it. That feeling of I beat it, I got it, and it's working. A very complicated machine versus Justin, let's say today, teaching. Which one would you, if you had to make a choice today, which would it be?
Oh, teaching, 100%.
Much more reward based.
The rewarding is definitely amazing, and nobody has to come and toot my horn. I see what I do. But so when I was a technician, I hung over a lot. And
It's
and that's why I look back and I'm like, God, if I would have just been the teacher I am, how I was a technician, whoo, and I would be more dangerous now. And that's why I tell all my students, I say, the sharper you get that meter, the sharper you are with those gauges, the more dangerous you will be in the trade. And that's where I look back and go, ah. But the good thing is I've had 6 years of free training or free schooling, because as I'm training it, I'm learning it. And a little bit more, I'm getting better at it, practicing it.
Best way to learn something is to teach it.
Yep.
And it's amazing how much in-depth your brain absorbs it when you're having to really study the concepts. Okay, so there's people listening right now who are thinking about, how do I make more money? I'm good at fixing things. Hey, well, this HVAC thing sounds pretty good. Well, Justin, what do I do? Because right now I'm flipping pizzas or doing sandwiches or working at a car wash. I'm not making enough money. It's minimum wage. What's the first step a person out there who's interested in getting to the skilled trades, specifically HVAC, what should they do? What should they consider?
If you don't have a lot of mechanical background, I definitely would tell you to go to a trade school. But if you have because I've seen it. I saw it when I worked at Pac Rim. I saw these two automotive guys. Shout out to Rodney. And he's a chiller guy now. He's a chiller guy. He can go to trade school, but I mean, he has already had some automotive mechanical skills to learn how things work and tick, and the sequence of operation. The one thing I teach my students the most, because if you don't know that, how can you fix it? So, but yeah, I think that if you are starting off young and you haven't had a really big background with tools, go to a trade school. If the college thing isn't for you, do it. But the thing is it's not, don't just do it. Do it. Apply yourself. Ask questions. Go there to learn. I don't have a crystal ball, Ryan. If I did, guess what? I'm in Vegas right now, rich as hell.
So would I be right behind you?
Hey, I got your back. Don't even worry about it,
So a brand new student reaches out to you, says, Justin, I like what you were talking about. I really want to get into this trade. What's my first week in trade school going to look like?
You're coming in here, depending on what, if you're in electrical or refrigeration, you're learning components. You're learning the refrigeration cycle. Let's go. Repetitive. I tell my students, what's 2 + 2? 4. They know it right away. But I know there was a time in your life where you had to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's what you're doing right now. I had a student turn back one day, like on his 3rd day, he goes, Mr. DeBach, this is like a whole new language learning. And I go, yep, amen. Okay, so every day just keep coming in and we're going to learn and get better at this stuff.
That's the, I like your analogy. 2 + 2 = 4. I would say you need to understand it as you know your own name. Same kind of concept. Ask the person their name. Well, it's Justin. It's Ryan. We know our names. And you are absolutely spot on when you say it's learning a new language. And what's interesting is you're learning all these new components, all these new words, all these new concepts. But in air conditioning, refrigeration, electrical is 95% of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And there are symbols that you have to know. So it's almost like learning a symbol type language. You look at Chinese or some of these Asian languages, and they're symbols, they're pictures.
That's why I don't like symbols. I don't like that. So I learn sequence of operation. I try to learn it all in here because all those symbols get me all mixed up. And it's like, if I got to go to you, I will. You're my backup plan B. But I try to do sequence of operation all day. But I totally understand the whole symbols thing. It's a roadmap to finding the why.
Yeah, it's another level, isn't it? And so now you're trying to learn how to fix and repair HVAC and refrigeration equipment. But before you even get there, you got to learn this whole new language. It's daunting. What do you do with students that are overwhelmed with the knowledge and come to you with, Justin,
It's very simple, right? I tell students, there's a net behind you. Every day, that net is going to catch information because that saying went right over my head. All that went over your head is getting caught in the net. And every day you get closer, that net's going to get closer and closer and closer to you as you keep coming to school and lab and learning this. And that day's going to come where, hey, Mr. Blunt, and you're grabbing it off the net. Now I get it. And that's the concept I try to let them know. Like, hey, this isn't an overnight success story. If this was easy, you know what?
The pay wouldn't be there.
Yeah. So it's a very challenging trade, but yeah, every day come in and you get better and better. And those things that you didn't get in the beginning, you're going to learn because, just like Andy Griffith says it on the Andy Griffith Show. Once you learn it, you learn it.
That's right. You know what I tell young people or even older people that want to make a career change is listen, if you love school and you can do a lot of it and you can handle the sight of blood, become a doctor. If you can't handle the sight of blood, but you still like school and you got the gift of gab, become a lawyer. If you can't handle either one of those, then become an HVAC and refrigeration technician.
Because then you can fix everything.
And people say, well, what do those three things have in common? Because when you need that service, that's the only person that can take care of it. HVAC and refrigeration is what I call a protected trade. People say, well, what do you mean by protected trade? It's the only trade that you can't go to Home Depot and do yourself. Yeah, you can go buy a window air conditioner, but if you wanted to install central air conditioning at your house, can't go to Home Depot and get it.
Just watch a YouTube video, Ryan.
Yeah, exactly.
Simple.
Yeah.
And instructions.
And if you have the equipment, the tools necessary would require months of training just to learn how to use them and actually understand what you're looking at. So it is a very technical trade, but it also gives the person who learns to, I don't like to use master it because it's a constant learning. I've been doing it for 32 years. I'm learning what we call A2L stuff now. This is a new refrigerant.
I don't want to.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to.
I know.
And the technology is always changing. HVAC is always in the crosshairs because it is a significant portion of our energy usage in this country, in the world. And so they're always looking at ways to regulate and make it more efficient. So we're always having to learn. Once you really feel like you've mastered the current technology, it completely changes. What's great about that, though, is it gives you a lifelong journey of learning. And that's a fantastic thing. It keeps the brain alive and it keeps you relevant rather than just being in a job that you can be replaced. I own my company, you know that, and the biggest challenge that we have, and this is systemic across the country, is finding skilled trades persons. Now, When I was in high school, I'm a Gen Xer. You are? Are you a millennial?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, you're.
Yeah,
I think you're a millennial. So yeah, because you were 2000 when you got out of high school.
And 1999.
Yeah. So as a Gen Xer, what we were told is if you don't go to college, you will fail in life. I got put in front of counselors. I had friends and family. What are you doing? What are you thinking? And I went into the trades. And the interesting thing now is they're all proven wrong because in the trades are some of the highest paid careers that you get, in HVAC being up at the top. Uh, in some cases, like you mentioned, let's say you do have mechanical skills, automotive, a welder, maybe you were even a plumber. No, nothing against the plumbers.
I'm sorry, guys. We still love you.
Here's the thing: you know how to use tools. You know how to. You know how to work with your hands. You know what a 8-10 hour hard.
Somebody can show you something first time, and you're gonna pretty much grasp the idea.
We've hired people, Justin, right out of other trades that have aptitude in mechanical that move straight on into becoming fantastic technicians. So there's multiple ways you can do this, right? Yeah. If you have no skills, reach out to a guy like Justin and other trade schools, and they'll give you the skills you need.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I believe your school also sets them up with a tool, your beginning tool set.
Yeah, you get a tool set. We have career services where they'll find you a job. At least get you out there, see what you like, and we have all the utilities to get you to be successful. The only thing we need is you to have the want.
One of the things that we do in my company is we don't pay for any training unless it's regulated or mandated. Okay, so if the government comes out and says, hey, your people need to have this particular certification in order to work with this particular technology, our insurance company says, you need this kind of training in order to do this. Of course, we pay for that, take care of it. However, our regional service manager, he provides everybody that gets hired here what we call a roadmap to success. And that roadmap to success is their personal roadmap. It gets customized as the person goes through their 90 days based on their skill set and what they're struggling with and so it's an extension of what you do, right? So we'll take that and see those skills you've taught them in school and then refine them for industry. And however, it's on them. And we've had people that take their roadmap, and after a year, they come to the service manager and say, "Hey, Gerardo, man, I need another couple bucks an hour."
What have you done?
And Gerardo will sit down with them and go over the roadmap to success, and it's all certificated programs. And well, I haven't done any of it. And well, these are like 20-minute classes you can do right online. I also offered a whole bunch of the supply houses, as you know.
Yeah.
It's great, especially when I was a young technician. I would go to every single training because they offered me dinner. Free food.
Who wouldn't go?
And you go there, and a lot of times
then you start realizing some things.
Well, they also provide swag. Sometimes you end up walking away with a tool or a little gift bag.
And you're networking. You're around your people. You're around the people of your trade, so you get to see and who's in the trade.
That's the most valuable, right?
It's cool.
So you might be a new guy in the industry, and you're sitting next to a guy who's a 20-year chiller tech. The guy to your right is a 15-year installer. The other guy here is a high-end real residential installer.
John Hearn, my first year in the trade, was in my training class at Carrier over when it was SCAD.
Really? Yeah, I remember SCAD.
John Hearn was my last boss. He owned his own business and he hired me.
For mechanical, right?
Mechanical, yeah. But like I said, when I first got in the trade at 20 years old, he was in my training class, learning the trade too. And then he hired me to be a service technician. And I was one of his go-to guys. It was pretty neat. Like, it's just like small world. Like, we sat here on this training, and throughout the years, he became a mentor, and next thing you know, he was my last.
That's fantastic.
Last company I got to work for in the trade, which high rises were awesome.
Networking is critical in any industry. In the HVAC industry, it is easy access in a comfortable environment where they're feeding you. It's like, why haven't you done this? Um, then another guy will sit down with the service manager, sit down and say, "Hey, I've been here for X amount of time. I think I'm worth $2 or $3 an hour more, or whatever that number may be." Sits down with the service, and by the way, bam, certificate. And the service manager is already aware of this because he's already seen the increase in production, the decrease in callback rates. Callback is basically where a technician says it's fixed and then the customer calls back and says it's not. This is not a good thing. It's not completely avoidable though, because these machines are complicated. So as the service manager sits down with this, he has no problem coming to me and sitting down with me and says, "My guy wants this. He earned it. He deserves it. I sign off on it 100% of the time." The guy we talked about before, the service manager says, "Do you really want me to go sit in front of the president of the company and ask for this when you're only doing exactly what we did when we hired you?
Yep.
Here's a cost of living raise. Everyone's getting it.
Yep.
But you're still the same tech you were a year ago." What's interesting is I tell my new techs, I tell people in my social circle, the only difference between you today and who you are in 5 years is the information you've learned and the people you meet. So we just discussed that. You're networking and acquiring new knowledge.
Yep.
So employers out there. So we've been talking about the students.
Yeah.
So an employer reaches out to you in your career placement. What are they to expect from your students that are ready to go to work?
Show up, be there on time, be in uniform, be respectful, listen, learn, pay attention, be patient, and be a sponge, just like the evaporator will. Soak it in, because you got many more years ahead of you when you're new.
And do they have a realistic understanding at where they're entering the industry?
I let them know that you need to give yourself 5 years of this trade to start becoming pretty good at it. Some could get it quicker, some take it longer.
Yeah, I've seen guys who just bury themselves into it, and we could legitimately call them a journeyman in 3 years.
Yeah.
In the union, it's a 6-year apprenticeship for refrigeration. I think it's 4 for HVAC.
Yep.
And it's a lot of information, but the great thing is you're learning on day one. And so every day you show up on time. Every day you're respectful, humble, and listen, absorb. I like absorb like an evaporator. That's an inside joke, guys.
Yeah.
And it's showing up is 80% of success, and working while you're there.
Right.
Be present. Yeah. Be involved.
If that van is sitting in your driveway and it's not in the road, you're not making money. You sitting at home aren't making money. Nobody's happy.
It's not a good situation.
That's not a good thing. And that's something I teach my students is if the van's on the road, they're happy. And that's like I told my students, like, I didn't even get hired for my first job because of whatever skills or what they saw on my resume. They saw my certificate that I got out of my trade school that had 100% attendance. I didn't miss 1 minute of school. I was never tardy. I was never late. I had a goal in mind that and we even got home 4 o'clock in the morning. I was up at 5:45, and we got back at school.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't want to miss that goal, and that's why they hired me. Is because they realized that, hey, you're going to be at work every day.
One of the things the very first thing I say to all the trade schools career placement managers, I want to see their attendance record.
Yeah.
And I work with a couple, 3 to be exact, UEI and a couple others. And the very first thing is I want to see their attendance before I even meet them. If they can't show up to school, what makes me think that they're going to show up to work? Which is physically, they're going to have the mental demand of school. Now we're going to add the physical demand of the trade.
Is it physical?
No, it's pretty easy.
Just a tool bag goes up to the rooftop.
Yeah, you just wait in your truck while the tools do the work.
Drones take
Yeah, it just takes care of it. Well, the new robots that are coming out, they'll take care of it all.
Perfect.
But no, these and there's so many what we call soft skills. And I think the trade schools in general, the ones I work with, understand that.
That's something that I try to do every day. I try to give the students the things that I did in the field that I made mistakes on, not to do. The number one I always tell them is whoever pays the bill, you talk to. Whoever pays the bill, you talk to. If you show up and there's a tenant and they're not paying the bill, they don't get no information because they can use your words against you. And next thing you know, lawyers are involved.
Well, and I have never had an air conditioning machine after I fix it cut me a check.
Yep.
Ever. What we tell all of our people is that we happen to fix air conditioning systems, refrigeration systems, heaters, but what we actually do is relationship management. We do it internally with our team, so we manage our relationships with our people, and we do it externally with our customers. That's 100% of what we do. Now, within that circle of influence, there happen to be these machines we're fixing.
Yeah.
But that just happens to be what we're doing.
Yep. And
we hammer that and let them understand it. And it is a make or break in our company. If you can't get that concept, this might not be a good fit for you. But what it does is it gives these people direction, motivation, and a sense of purpose because they're changing people's lives. What, Ryan? You're saying they're changing people's lives by fixing air conditioners? I'll tell you what.
True heroes create comfort, Ryan. True heroes create comfort.
Human beings hate to be uncomfortable and inconvenienced. Yep. And we provide both. They also are heroes in the business sense, because we're a commercial company, that we're saving people hundreds of thousands of dollars in possible spoiled food, in downtime, drinks that can't be sold. Here's the other thing that people don't see is on their electric bills.
Amen, man, because those...
a system that a technician that doesn't know how to properly charge a system or properly maintain a system can cost a customer 30-40% more on their electric bill, and they have no clue because it's still cooling and doing the work it's supposed to. So these are the things that we want our people to understand, that we're serving people. We just happen to do it through fixing air conditioners.
Yeah. That's why I tell my students, look, trust me, we love the military, we love the firefighters, the police, the doctors. They get that hero card, but don't forget about the HVAC guy, because Grandma was just laying in bed and it's 85 degrees and she's about to go to the hospital. And guess what? We brought comfort there. Now she don't have to go to the hospital. She doesn't have heat stroke. And guess what? We saved the day.
And we hear it all the time, right? A heat wave comes through, and they always give you the death count, right? Yeah. And it tends to be the elderly. Mm-hmm. When COVID came through, we were essential workers.
As a teacher, I didn't stop.
No,
we figured out a way.
Yeah, you guys went all remote.
We went hybrid. Well, at first it was all remote, and then we ended up, the program we do run now is a hybrid, and school twice a week, and then you do everything online, and we do some Zooms on the side.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's one of the benefits that came out of COVID is forcing people to use the technology that's available. And I don't think that would have happened. Zoom wouldn't have happened. All of these things would not have. I mean, it would eventually have happened, but boy, it got fast paced real quick.
Well, that's what we do as humans. We work better under pressure.
That is correct. Through adversity, we achieve greatness. When you were going through the COVID situation, because that's interesting. This is something we haven't gone through in our lifetime, right?
No, that was like I said, and I had a beard at the time, and that mask sucked big time.
Well, you have a beard now.
Well, no. I had a beard. I had this. Yeah, so beards and the mask didn't
work.
And we were a school that held on to the mask rule a long time. Mm. But again,
did you have to shave completely shave that face of yours?
No, I don't want to scare people. I don't want to scare people. So,
Well, you guys, sounds like the school, your school particularly, pivoted real well.
I had a guy tell us during this whole thing, because it seemed like not every day, it was literally every minute things were changing. We didn't have a book or nothing. And one of the guys said, you know what, guys, we can sit here and bitch and complain and and be all negative, or we can just adapt. Because if we adapt, then we're just, we can push forward. And guess what? It'll go away someday. Just like a cut, it'll go away someday.
We'll figure it out.
Hurts.
Right?
It hurts right now. It's not fun, but we'll figure it out. We're humans.
We have to.
We don't have books on everything, but we do have Google.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all these other AI now things that I don't even want to. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a quick changing world. Is there some way people out there, if they have questions or even interested in UEI, is there someplace they can reach out to?
They can just go to uei.com. It's very simple. It's
Is that local just here in San Diego County?
All around California. We got one in Tacoma. We got one in Vegas, Mesa, Arizona. So we're around.
Yeah, I would encourage
a lot of LA areas, West Covina, Gardena, Encinas. I mean, you name it. We're trying to change lives, man, and that's it's a cool thing. Never realized in my life that this would be my calling. Because my mom, hold on, I want to finish this thought. Because my mom, with the whole having a high grade and going to college, and she's like, Justin, you don't make no sense. You do all good in school, and now you're teaching at a school. I don't understand it. And I'm like, I don't understand either, Mom. But that's how life is. Everything happens for a reason. And some things you don't like, but guess what? That's what makes us stronger, makes us better human beings, even though it doesn't feel like it right now, but we'll all overcome and get better. But you had a thought, I'm sorry.
Oh no,
Or you were
listening to you. Yeah, you're the guest. I want to hear what you have to say. Well, my opinion, if it means anything, is I think you're doing an amazing job. You're contributing to the industry we're needed. It's needed. These students.
We're not going away, technology. We're not going away. Sorry, AI.
It's severely lacking skilled trades. The schools like yours are providing businesses like ours. We can't do our work if we don't have skilled trades people. Yeah. So, and the other thing that people don't realize is that the infrastructure will fail completely if we don't have skilled tradespeople. It is our infrastructure that everyone enjoys is 100% supported by skilled trades. And there is a shift in society, a push to start putting skilled trades back out there. Schools are opening. We're starting to see more opportunity. People are interested in it. If people are stuck in a unfulfilling career, don't mind hard work, and enjoy a challenge and a lifetime of learning, I always highly recommend HVAC and refrigeration. It'll provide and check off all those boxes. And the amazing thing is, it'll give you a good, decent living.
And every day is going to be a different day. It's not going to be the same day, boring old job. We're humans. Do we eat the same dinner every night?
No, and it is.
Do we buy one video game and play that video game our whole lives? No, we want something different every day. So that's one thing cool about this trade that I didn't realize when I started it, but it's like every day is going to be a different day. You're going to be doing something different, and it just makes it cool.
It's a buffet of work out there that is never ending. And my last point I'll make is anybody thinking about this as you're driving home or going through you're going to your job, every single building, every single car, every single structure has some sort of HVAC and refrigeration. And mathematically, there are not enough people out there to actually take care of it. So think about that if you are considering a career change. There's a need, and you can go anywhere in the world with those skills.
Anywhere. And the thing is it works off of other things. You know, my student, he just graduated, and I get a video from him. I go, Mr. Blanc, look what you taught me with continuity. I just fixed my mom's dryer for $25 instead of costing her hundreds, thousands of dollars, maybe going to buy a new one. He fixed it with just learning the skills from our school.
I tell people there's an indirect earning plan when you become an HVAC tech. Well, what do you mean? Well, you're going to save tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars as things get more expensive, and being able to troubleshoot and fix things in your own personal life,
Yes,
your friends' lives, family lives. Everybody in the trade does side jobs. So the ability to earn is 100% limited by you.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like I said, I mean, you're going to learn a trade, but you're going to be able to work on anything else. I mean, not cars. I don't do cars anyways.
I don't
That's
like
a whole
cars
different beast
either.
in my eyes.
You need to be a computer engineer
I
these
put
days.
gas in it, and I hit the pedal, and it takes me A to B. That's all I care. But no, like I said, I mean, just the sequence of operation, electrical skills, learning power, learning how it works. You can work on anything.
It benefits so many areas because you have to learn to be a critical thinker.
That's the biggest thing.
And if you actually learn to use the brain God gave you in a way that you probably haven't been using it or exercising it, and the more that you do, the more benefits you see in your whole life.
I have a saying with my students: sequence of operation plus process of elimination equals why. Because at the end of the day, that's what your job is why is that not working? Why is that not operating? Why is it doing this? Why is it not doing this? And that's why I joke with my students too, as like back in the day, my business card said HVAC service representative. If I would ever go back on the field, my business card would say I'm the why technician, because I'm solving whys, and that's the cool thing about this trade too, is not every why is the same. They're always different, and after you solve that why, you get that, hey,
it's a high, man.
Yeah,
it's
and your companies aren't going to give it to you. They're not going to go every time, good job, Ryan, good job, but you knowing that.
I'll give you a shirt because I love your shirt, by the way. HVAC legend, beer can cold. Another inside joke.
Yes, inside
You'll
joke.
hear about it.
We don't practice that anymore.
Yeah, we don't do beer can cold. However, here's a new shirt for you based on what you said. HVAC Y gives you the HVAC high.
I'm telling you, seriously, it's fun. It's like I said, the challenge, and seeing not just my students grow, but just to hear stories, of other students that have been through the program and how they're doing, and knowing that, hey, we're changing one life at a time. I mean, it sounds kind of corny, but it really is the truth. And if we can do that, it's better than losing one. Because again, a lot of people are too negative this day and age, and it pisses me off. But again, that's why I try to go in positive every day, and that's why when it comes to being an instructor, it's a show. I don't want anybody to turn the channel. Like that's the thing is I turn on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I put the remote down. I'm watching it. I enjoy it. It's even though Will Smith pisses me off now, but at the end of the day, that's just like on anything. If you enjoy it, you're going to sit there and that's like why you're watching this for all these podcasts is on this new Real People Real Lives is because you enjoy it.
That's the goal.
And I haven't
get something out of it.
Yeah, and I don't know who other people are going to be coming through here, but I can't wait to see the crop and.
No, you're going to be one of our debut launches, our first year, and we're going to want to have you back.
Hey man, like I said, I with the anxiety and stuff, a little nerves.
You did great, Josh.
That's the thing is that's the teaching in me is I realize it just kind of like, hey, get through it. You're gonna be all right.
You're fine.
And people understand. Most people will be rational, even though you get some of those that aren't. But that's why I stay at home most of the time. But maybe that's another conversation another day.
Well, we can definitely expand the topics. I think that would be fun. You're a very passionate man. I love it.
No, it's because I got that little knucklehead over there, that 14-year-old behind me that I live for every day. I'm a single father now, and the map of life that you hear about, and Then that part of the map now is divorce a lot, and it happens. But
there's life after divorce.
But you know what? This guy behind me makes me every day just become better because son of a bitch outdrove me on the golf course the other day.
And he's gonna.
How is a 14-year-old out driving his daddy already on the golf course? But no, it's
that's the pride of fatherhood. You want to see
him do better.
Your children do better than you,
and he is already on a good path. And I'm excited to see the future of what he has to grow with. And like I said, man, every day, I've had a lot of things happen in my life, just like we all have. As I tell him every day, man, and like I said, it's achievable. Live it to the fullest. That's true. Live it to the fullest. Come in every day knowing that, I hate waking up in the morning. That's normal. That's going to be a normal the rest of my life. But once you get there, just like going to the gym, I hate going to the gym, but once you get there and you go there, you're like, that felt good. Just like anything else, you get there and you accomplish something. It just brings more positive to the next day.
Well, we appreciate the positive that you're bringing in these students' lives. We appreciate the positive that you're bringing into the HVAC industry. As a business owner, I appreciate being able to at least look at students that have the potential, bring students on and see them achieve. That's a great, wonderful feeling as a business owner. One more time, if people are interested in looking into trade schools and even your trade school, where could they find that?
You can drive down to 2027 Mission Avenue in Oceanside. If you don't know that spot, that's an old swap meet back in the day, I guess. I never knew that spot. I've been in Escondido for 20 years now, or go to uei.edu.
Oh, okay.
I think it's uei.edu. Or I'm bad on that one.
Probably is EDU, yeah.
But I think it's EDU because education.
What does UEI stand for?
United Education Institute.
Okay, great. So online, if you're local, go on down, and also there's trade schools in other areas you were talking about.
I know there's everywhere. They're popping up everywhere. You got, Temecula. I know they got a couple going on over there. Anywhere that you can expand and become better in life and take a path of going up instead of going down. Nobody wants to go down. We will plateau at one point of our lives, but if we can keep realizing we can keep going up, then keep going up because, just like Notorious B.I.G. said, sky's the limit. So let's try to reach it.
Well, thanks for coming out, Justin. Thanks for putting off football for my podcast.
It's always, being able to get to network with you and get to talk to some people and learn something new, and seeing this stuff that I see on TV or on the internet now and the podcasts I think it's pretty cool.
Well, you'll see yourself on the internet.
Put a little mask on me. No, I'm just kidding. No, man, it's been really cool. I look forward to maybe growing a different relationship. And like I said, it's like driving right here. I'm like, I've been past this road many, many years and never knew that you were in this spot.
Yeah, we're commercial, so we don't really have to advertise our street presence.
Yeah.
But, now welcome. Come by anytime.
Hey, you know what? I know where the snacks are now.
Yeah, absolutely. You're welcome to them.
Appreciate it, Ryan.
All right.
Thanks.
You've been listening to Real People, Real Life. Our passion is to have real conversations with real people who've made it. Real people who've made it, who did it on their own terms. We'll be back soon, but in the meantime, catch us on Twitter or X at RPRL Podcast and on YouTube at Real People, Real Life Podcast.